Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Tuesday, February 19th. I'm going to demonstrate a trade here. I've got a two-legged pullback to the EMA. We really got a little trading range here, and we failed out the bottom side. So I'm looking for this to possibly go higher here, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get a tick or so below. We got a little double bottom here, and I really wish I would have gone ahead and dropped a limit order a little bit lower, but I thought I was going to miss this trade, so I went ahead and entered. And sometimes you just got to do that because sometimes you'll miss it. But now that we got this double bottom here, I'm thinking we're going to get a tick or two lower and then probably bounce. But we'll see what happens here. I'm even tempted to add another set right here. In fact, I think I will. See if I can get, I got to wait for it to be off that price to get a limit order. Let's see if we can get that one filled, and we'll just. But let me tell you why I like this trade. We got a channel working up here. You can see that we just came off the upper side, but we went into this little trading range and we failed out the bottom, and now we got a double bottom here right at the EMA. So this is where you're expecting a bounce to occur, and so I'm looking for a bounce here. All right, there's our break lower. I've got 10 contracts on now. I just want to get a, try to scalp a point. We'll see. I may move that higher. I want to change this to 8 and leave 2 for my runners here. So let's see what happens. But now we got a double bottom, a failed break lower. We're right at the EMA. We're right at the trend line. Lots of reasons to like this trade. And really this might, this might be right here. And this is the high. I put this on here to show you. This is the high of the day. This is the low of the day. And this is actually the close from yesterday. And it wouldn't surprise me if we don't come down and fill this gap, because it is a gap on the regular chart. So what I'm thinking is we'll probably, I don't know if this is really good enough to be a break of the trend line yet. We'll just have to kind of see. And this might even be right here. I got it right there because it kind of touches those bars right in there. But we got a failed break lower. That, notice that one tick trap at this point. We'll see. Like I said, I really wish I would have got my order in right there, but I didn't. But needless to say, I still like this entry, and I like where we're entering at here. And so I doubled it up, just added another set. And I'll do that sometimes. I don't recommend you doing that until till you're a profitable trader and you're really good at reading the price action. This thing's struggling to bounce here, but it'll do that. That's not uncommon. They're trying to weed people out, and they were trying to run those stops. And what happens with this double bottom across here, what actually happens here is that traps people in, and it traps shorts in, because people think, hey, if we're going lower here, that's where I get short. They don't know any better. So it traps shorts in, and at the same time it traps the people that are long. They think the market's going lower, and it traps them out. So it serves two purposes. So if we get this thing moving here, we're going to hit all these stops. The people that got out will have to get back in to get long again, and all the shorts, it will hit their stops and run it up. So that's kind of the game plan. Come on, get it going here. We got a little gap right there, and we'll probably come back and fill that. Maybe we can scalp out before that happens and move. And notice I started with my stop at 2 points. I doubt I would give this a 2 points here, because if it goes lower, that's not a good sign. So let's just watch this and see what happens. But I'm expecting that we're going to probably tick back and fill that little gap right there. There we go. Now we filled it. Now we can go higher maybe. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and move this. I'm going to give it 2 ticks. I like to give it 2 ticks because it's amazing how many times it'll tick back 1 tick and then bounce on you. So But again, the reason I like this trade is we've got the channel. I do see the need to come back, though. We never tested this breakout area right here. We need to come back and fill the gap from the overnight, but I would suspect we're going to go higher first, unless I'm wrong here, which I could be. But I suspect we're going to go higher before that happens, so we'll see. All right, here we go. We're working higher here. That's what we wanted to see. And again, I want to tell you why I like this trade, because of the channel. It's a pullback. It's a two-legged pullback to the EMA, to the channel. And hopefully you can see that there's one leg back, there's a little two-legged correction, and a second leg back. But even more importantly here, this was a little trading range right here, and we failed out the lower side. And what usually happens, it snaps back and it'll go, and it'll snap back into the trading range, and that's what it, so that's why I was banking on this trade and wanting to get long here. And generally, you want to wait and get long above this bar right here. That's what I recommend for most new traders or non-profitable traders as they're working on their trading. But I like to sneak in a tick or two early occasionally, and that gets me out. As you see, that gives me my 1 point scalp well before we get to the highs. So if you get in here, you got to get out at 24.50, so you got to get out a lot higher, and there's more chance that things can go wrong, so to speak. So, and I actually got in. I actually didn't get the ideal entry on this that I wanted. All right, you see we scalped out now. Our stop should have moved to break even. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and move it to break even. I actually, not sure why it didn't move to break. Oh, because my original entry was up here. We haven't gotten to break even for the original entry. It's going to use my original entry because I added on that second set right there. But as you can see, we've already scalped out on 8 contracts. That's $400 we got in the bank, and now we got a runner, so sitting there at break even. So we have no more risk in this trade at all. And the worst we can do is make $400 minus our commissions. And that's why I like this style, because it reduces your risk. It doesn't allow you to see money in your, the worst thing you can do is watch prices go a point or two in your favor, and you're watching the money build up, and then all of a sudden, you make a breakout here and you fail, and it comes back and runs all the stops, and you get stopped out with a loss, and you didn't put that money in your account. And so this strategy, eliminates that. It allows me to make some money, and if it goes higher, great, I'm going to make more money. If it doesn't go higher, then guess what? I've still made $400 minus my commissions. And actually what I'm going to do here, and you don't have to do this, there's all kind of ways you can manage these runners. But I don't want to, I'm going to make sure I get at least a tick on those last 2 contracts. Because if we come back down here, there's a good chance we could come back down here and test this and then go higher. But if so, then I'll look for another entry. I would rather re-enter than, because if I get out at actually break even right there, I'm going to lose the commission on 2 contracts. So by getting 1 tick, I'll still make money on both of those contracts. It won't be anything to write home about, but it makes sure I make it'll give me a even $400 on the trade. So, and I suspect we're going to pull back here. Now we could make another leg down like that to fill this gap, and so that's one reason why I don't want to let this go any further. I'm not willing to risk this any further, because we do have this gap, we do have this breakout that needs filling, and there's a good chance we may get stopped out on this. So, but we've already got our $400 in the bank, and People are always asking me how I manage my trades, and so I just wanted to demonstrate another one. It seems like I can never catch a good runner, though, whenever I demonstrate a trade. And, you know, you're only going to get a few runners generally on most days. Most of the time, prices are going to pull back and take out those important areas. But because I snuck in here earlier, if I'd have got in right here, you see they would have already, of course, you wouldn't have scalped out yet if you'd have got in right here. But they're always working on pulling back and taking those. They know that people trade like this. And so they're always pulling back and looking for stops and running stops and stuff. That's just the nature of the game. So just had a trader send me an email, and I guess he entered saying he entered on a limit order right here where I did. So he was. So I'm not the only one, and so some of y'all are learning. Somebody else sees exactly what I'm seeing here, I'm sure. So that's a good thing. And you know, it's scary. That's the thing about it. For a trader that's not familiar with price action, they're looking to get short down here. They're thinking, okay, if we go much further, this means this thing's, and all these corrections do is they make people think the market's topped out, and they scare people out. It takes what I call intestinal fortitude to be able to enter on a long order down here. But if you understand price action, you know with that double bottom and the fact that we broke out of this little thing here too, you know that prices are going to pull back. And here we go. We're still going higher. And there you notice my stop moved again by itself. It moved to, that was my original entry, so it moved to break even on my first set of contracts just then. And I'll probably just leave it there for now. I'm hoping we're going to make another leg up similar to this one. And really, I think we already have two legs. I believe that's leg one. Then you got a little two-legged correction there. And then I believe that was leg two. So we may be about done here to the upside. We'll just have to see. But that's why we do the scalp and run. And the fact that this ended as a doji, hopefully that's just a little pullback to retest the EMA, and now we'll go higher. And that's the thing, you notice a lot of times when we pulled back, look at it, how it was kind of choppy there, and then all of a sudden it breaks higher and it hits all those stops and it surges up. So we got to break a little higher to catch those stops, and then we'll probably surge up again. So hopefully we'll see prices do that. But that's why this happens right here. There's a lot of people getting short right in here, and they keep their stops, and they're thinking here, if we go any higher from here, I got to exit this thing. And so their safety stops are up in here. And, you know, a lot of them will keep them a tick or two or three, and some of them will give it a point or two or whatever their strategy is. And so most all the safety stops for the shorts are right in here. And when they finally work it up there and it hits those stops and it surges real fast, and that's what we're hoping is going to happen here. We're going to hit some stops and it'll surge up again. So we want to catch that surge. And what will happen is all your smart traders, after that surge, they'll start exiting where this top of this channel is. And that's why you get this sudden correction, is you get smart traders taking profit, and all the people that don't know any better start thinking, hey, there's a top, I'm going short. And guess what? They get trapped down here, and then a bunch of the longs that got in late here, then they're thinking, oh, I'm on the wrong side, so they exit. And and it just traps everybody out. So if we can break, we got to break probably above here a tick or two, but hopefully if we do, we'll get that surge that we're looking for. But I like that we're back inside the channel and it seems to be holding. So I'm thinking we're going to get this run up. But I'll let this go a little bit longer. I mean, we're about 15 minutes into it. And we can always let this serve as our chart lesson. But this should have been your first target if you, let's just talk about that while we're waiting to see what's going to happen over here. The first trades this morning, there was a second entry long right here. This one was not a perfect setup, but when you get a double bottom right at the EMA, you got to be thinking long. And I tried to enter on a limit order right there and couldn't get filled. Yeah. So I had to go long right here, and it didn't go very far before it started backing up, and it made me a little nervous. But after that, you were able to find this trend channel. It was hard to find this line, so I found it on this side. Notice how that fits right in there perfectly. Here we go. We make surge higher here, and I just copied that and drug it down, and that fits perfect. So, and we could get a double top right here if we don't break higher, and this could be our, we've already kind of got a double top anyway. If we get a broader one, that would, what I'm suspecting is we're going to break and go a little higher and then maybe sell off and come back and fill these gaps and stuff. But sometimes that doesn't happen until later in the day, and that's why we hold these runners, because this thing may run and run and run and run. And we want to get as much as we can out of it. You can see if we were to hit our target here where this is at, and I may move this. This is just where I've got it. That's about a 5-point, almost a 5-point target right there. But what I want to do if we start trending higher like this right here is I want to wait until we get right at the trend channel before I'm going to exit. But if we break out of here and fail like this right here, I may go ahead and exit and look for another entry. But I'm hoping we trapped a lot of shorts and we trapped a lot of longs out, and then we can get above this double top and catch those stops and get it moving here. But anyway, there was a second entry long there, and then we pulled back, and this is really a second entry long here, and this is coming right off the EMA, the trend channel. This is kind of a repeat pattern, a little tighter than this right over here. So there really was another long here too. And sometimes that's just, it's always dangerous if there's not enough room to scalp out. I like it better when you got room like this, but notice how good these trades were compared to this one. This one hasn't worked out nearly as well. And this one's more obvious than this one was, and so hoping we're going to get a trap right here and turn up now. And I could have kept this down here and given it more room. But since it moved automatically, that means these last, here we go. I'm liking the way this is looking. We're trying to break this higher. But so far, there's really only been, since 7 o'clock, there's only been 2 entries, that one and this one. And if you saw those 2 and took them, that's great. You didn't want to be going short on this. You might have considered on this break above this right here shorting, but with all that overlap, there's no reason to go short there, and you see what happened. It just trapped people. So you gotta, what a lot of people don't understand and can't realize is that these overlapping bars, especially when they're lined up just like that, that is no different than this trading range right here. It's just on a smaller picture. It's still a trading range. And you don't want to be entering on breaks out of trading ranges. So you definitely don't want to, you want to wait for the trap. And usually what will happen is you'll trap out both sides. But notice we broke out the bottom, and you might have considered going long there. And if you did have, you would have been fine. You just keep your stop below that signal bar. There's your signal bar. But when it broke lower here, you could have actually gone long one tick above it. It still would have taken a while to scalp out, but it would have worked out for you. And we're still trying to go higher over here. But now we got a broader double top. But hopefully we trap some more shorts there when we ticked lower. People thinking, hey, we got a double top reversal pattern. But this is really the first, I don't even know if that's a break of a trend line yet. The trend line might be right there. And if that's the case, then we haven't even had a break of that trend line yet. It's really hard to tell yet because this is really the first confirmation. I thought maybe it was that one right there, but that doesn't touch, and that could be it right there. And if it is, it's still not a break. This will be the first break if this closes right here. So but I'm really hoping we can get it above here and catch those stops. Our recording is getting kind of long, but if we do get another leg, you see where the target is. It's right up here. All right, I got stopped out there. So anyway, we made $400 on the original scalp, and we made another $100. So that was a $500 trade. Lasted what? 22 minutes is what the recording's showing. And but that's why I exit, because this is somewhat of a reversal pattern. I'd be surprised if we're going to sell off here without first trapping people up there. But it looks like they want to come back and fill this gap. So I can't ever seem to get a good runner going when I'm doing a recording. But that's just it. You never know when you're going to get a really good runner, so you have to take them when you can get them. But the fact that this didn't really take off here, we had this right here, this doji after this, and then another doji right here, even though it closed on its high, that was a sign that this is still a trading range. We're still in this trading range so far. And a lot of times when you fail out one end, you'll go up and you'll come back and test that original area again, which was really right there. And you see we're already below that. So we could sell off from here. This might set up as a reversal pattern. So far, we still don't have a lower low yet, though. Notice that this low, if it turns up from here, that's a higher low than this low. And until we start making lower lows, this is still an uptrend. Even though we're not making higher highs, we're still making lower lows. So the buyers are still in control right now. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna probably post this. Will probably be our chart lesson for today. But you had a second entry here, a second entry here, and a second entry here. This is really kind of a two-legged pullback with a two-legged correction in the middle. So on a bigger picture, you would see two legs back and a nice failed break below that double bottom right there. And let me just draw a line there so it's easier to see. I'm always telling people to draw their lines because it's not real clear a lot of times without the lines. And you can see that double bottom right there. Draw these lines and put them on there. And you can see that double, and there is the double bottom. And look at that perfect kiss off of it. I should have kept my stop below here, but there's too big a chance that this could go lower at this point. So now we've really got our first break more than likely, and so now I figure we're probably going to run to a high, and it's worth thinking about re-entering right here. We'll see what this does, but I'm not going to record that. We're already 25 minutes into this. The video's getting too long. There's definitely no shorts up here yet. There's no reason to be thinking short. We haven't had any decent short setups. The trend is up. There's been no break of the trend line until maybe right here. and this might be right there. So still a break though. So yeah, we've got a break of the trend line now. So we'll see what happens. I'm thinking that's it right there. So wouldn't surprise me to make a new eye down fail and turn down, but we will see what happens. But like I said, this will probably serve as our chart lesson for today as well. But hope you have a good trading day. Welcome back from the holiday. Hope you took off yesterday and didn't mess with. You can see the only bit we had yesterday. And in case you did take off yesterday. I did do a video just on support and resistance. So pretty important video. I get a lot of questions about it, so I thought I would use the spare time yesterday. I was bored. The kids still had to go to school here where I'm at, so it was a cloudy, nasty, overcast day, so I just used it to come in and take care of some other work, and I did that video and did a little article with it. So if you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out. But I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you have a good trading day. Hope you have a good trading week, and we'll do this again tomorrow. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.